Welcome back to my channel, 1 ounce at a time. We're going to do another fresh crack, and this one is another sample sent to me by Locke & Co. out of Denver, Colorado. This one is the Big Blaze Bourbon. This one has a pretty unique story to it. I think it's really cool what Locke & Co. is doing with this bourbon. It's got a picture of forest firefighters on it. So this bourbon is really unique what they're doing with it. It's a 5-year-old bourbon, and it's finished in naturally burned aspen disc from uh, the East Troublesome Fire in Grand County, Colorado. So there was a huge forest fire out in Grand County, Colorado, and it burned a whole bunch of the forest out there. And they are using the discs from that naturally burned fire to finish their bourbon in it. Also, they're doing where they sell this. It gives 10% of the proceeds go to fire assessment and mitigation programs in Grand County. So I think that's really cool. I love supporting firefighters. They do a lot of good work for everybody in the community, and that job's really tough, guys. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a forest firefighter. That is just one really tough job, and I admire anybody who goes into that profession and puts their life on the lines to save people's property and save people's lives. And it's great that they're giving 10% of the proceeds back and trying to mitigate some of those forest fires in that area. And they're reusing the aspen that got burned up in that big troublesome forest fire. That's really cool. Thank you, Locke & Co. for giving me a sample to try and give a review on. I'm really looking forward to this. This is, like I said, it's a 5-year-old bourbon that comes in at 95 proof, and it's finished with those naturally burned aspen discs, which is really cool. So we're going to go ahead and get right into this. Once again, I'll be grading this on my standard 50-point scale. I give it 10 points for color, 10 points for nose, 10 points for palate, 10 points for finish, and 10 points for uniqueness, for a total of 50 points. You can see that grading scale here. We're going to go ahead and get right into this one, and hopefully it's really good. I really enjoyed the Big Catch bourbon. That one was a little smoky on the end, which I'm hoping I pick up on this one as well. So, but we're going to go ahead and give this one a good review. And I do like I said, that they're supporting local firefighters and trying to give some of the proceeds back for this. That's really awesome. So we'll start off with the color. So looking at the color, that's a pretty amber color. It's not as dark as the Big Catch was. It's a little bit lighter than the Big Catch. I'd give that a 5 on the color. Do get some legs on the glass. So we'll go in for the nose. A lot of sweetness on the nose. Getting a lot of vanillas and caramels coming through. There is a hint of smoke in the background there, but it's not overpowering the normal bourbon flavors that come through on the nose, like the vanillas, the caramels, and stuff like that. It's more of a toasted smell. That's actually a really good nose. I'm going to give that a 7 on the nose. I really like that. And like I said, there is a lot of legs on the glass. So this is pretty viscous. So go in for the palate. Okay. So just letting that rest on the palate a little bit. It is very viscous. It coats your mouth very well. It does have a lot of sweetness on the front end. I am picking up some of those vanillas, those caramels coming through. And then on the back end, a little bit of spice kicks in towards the back of the palate. And it just kind of has that hint of smoke on the back end of it. Yeah, that's a really good palate too. Picking up a little bit more on the nose now that I've tasted this. Yeah, it's very viscous, coats the mouth very well. The sweetness doesn't linger as long as the Big Catch bourbon. This one goes a little bit more into the spice towards the back of the palate quicker, and it goes into the smoke, a subtle smoke on the back of the palate. I'm going to give the palate on this a 6. The Big Catch bourbon had a little bit more sweetness, which actually is more towards my palate. But I do like the hint of smoke on the end of this. I just wish that sweetness had hung around a little bit longer before it kicked in with a little bit of spice and then gone into that. So I'm going to give that a 6. And I'm going to go back in for the finish because I've been talking. The finish is still going. This actually has a pretty decent finish for a 95 proof. Yeah, the finish is really good. It carries that spice and that little bit of hint of smoke into the finish. Gives a nice hug going down the palate, going down the throat. It's pretty good finish. I would say that finish. I'm gonna rank that finish. Yeah, I'd give that finish a 7. It's a pretty decent finish. I'm really shocked that it did a really pretty long finish for 95 proof. At 100 proof, I would expect that kind of finish, or a little bit higher proof, I would expect that kind of finish. But 7 on the finish. So we're going to grade this on the uniqueness. The smoky flavor that you get on the back of the palate that after you get through the spice and the sweetness on the front of the palate, I do feel like this one is pretty unique because of that smoky element that you get on the back that goes into the finish. So I'm going to give this one a 6 on the finish as well. A 6 on the uniqueness. So I'm looking at a total of 31 points. And I'm going to go back in for one more sip. Yeah, it's still the same flavor profile. Still coats your mouth very well. Still hitting that towards the back of the palate, hitting that spice, and then going in for the smoke. The finish is there. Yeah, I'd say this one is right at that 31 point range. So 31 out of 50. It's a decent bourbon. I actually think that for my palate personally, I prefer the Big Catch over the Big Blaze. It had a little bit more sweetness to it, and that for me it gives a little bit more of a sippable bourbon. This one is very sippable and it is something that you can drink neat, but I just feel like the sweetness was a little bit better on the Big Catch. So yeah, 31 out of 50, very respectable score. And thank you again, Locke & Co., for sending this to me. I love your mission. I love what you're trying to do. And I definitely love that you're supporting firefighters in your area. That's a fantastic project. And if you ever get around Colorado, you can order their stuff online from their website, or you can actually go to Colorado and pick up one of these bottles. I highly recommend it. It does a lot of good in their area. So, and they're giving 10% back to support firefighters, which is a very, very noble cause. Thank you again for watching the video. If you like the video, please give it a like, a follow, and a comment, and we'll see y'all in the next review. Thank you.